I forgot something. I was supposed to share with you guys what I am going to be doing for the next book vlog that I'm going to do, what 3 books that I'm going to be reading. And they go like this. Kristin Hannah, Night Road, because I have had this on my TBR and being meaning to read it. I'm going to read it and we're going to talk about it. Eleanor and Gray by Miss Brittainy Cherry, one of my favorite authors as well. And Rochelle Alers, Take the Long Way Home. Okay? Those are the 3 books that I am going to be sharing with you and reading for my next book vlog. And it will not be as long as the last one. So just wanted to pop back in and let you know that these are going to be the 3 that I'm going to share. Okay, carry on. Okay, so let's talk about Miss Kristin Hannah's Night Road. Okay, I am about I'm about 40% in on this book. And first, let me say this. It is dealing with young adult. But it's not just dealing with young adults. It's dealing with the parent of the young adults, two of the young adults that are like the main people in the story. So there is Lexi, that is a big part of the beginning of the story, where basically, and this is not a spoiler or anything, this little part of the story where it kind of kicks off and tells you about Lexi, who is abandoned basically because her mother dies, and she has a very bad, upbringing for the time period she's with her mother, which is not long. And she's put in the system, and so her aunt ends up finding her basically and bringing her to stay with her and taking care of her, okay, and raising Lexi. Her aunt doesn't have a lot of money. She's, pretty meager, stays in a trailer park, and it's just her, but she makes the best of it and she gives her love, right? And so Lexi ends up befriending someone in school, which the person that she friends, Mia, is a twin. She has a twin brother. Well, prior to her actually becoming Mia's friend, she meets the brother, okay, first, and kind of, they kind of look at each other, kind of like each other, whatever. Anyways, I'm not going to go into those details, but I'll just say, yes, it is dealing with young adult, and that almost turned me off. But I knew it was going somewhere because it's Kristin Hannah, and Kristin Hannah, she tells a story. So I knew it was going to be more deeper. So I stuck with it. And it gives the perspective of the mother of the twins, okay, of her best friend. Lexi's best friend, Mia, and her brother. They're the twins, right? So anyways, it gives her perspective. And what I'm noticing while I'm reading and listening to this book is how much it just amplifies as a mom, myself as a mom of teenagers, and I have one that's not a teenager now, and I have another that is a teenager. But as a mom, it just highlights and amplifies a lot of the things that you deal with as a parent that is not often said, maybe in counseling or something, but it's just not often said as a parent, especially as a mother. The feelings that you have from raising, kids, and the things that you go through as far as your mental state and how you handle the changes that they bring upon you. It's it's highlighting a lot of those things with this mother character. Hold on one second. Okay, so anyways, it highlights a lot of the emotions and the things that you have to deal with when the teenagers are becoming these young adults, and they are, you know, going into these different things, emotions and feelings, and just different things that are happening to them that they don't like to share with you as a parent, and how you cope with that. And then it just addresses a lot of that. But then, of course, it takes a turn. Very emotional read, and I'm only 40% in. It takes a turn. I'm not gonna go into details. Like I said, I don't like spoiling books, so I'm not gonna give you any of that. But I will tell you that it's more than just a young adult situation in this book, and it's very good so far. It is definitely a page turner, as it makes you want to continue to read to know what's going to happen next. Kristin Hanna just, you know, is one of those writers, and one of those authors that really does know how to tell a story to make you grapple with life choices and just decisions you made or make or maybe contemplating at any time in your life, especially if you are a mother, a parent of any type or sort. And I'm enjoying it. I am enjoying it. I have also started Rochelle Alers' Take the Long Way Home. As you can see, this is Thickums. And I am about just a hint, you know, 10% in maybe. So I've just started this, and it's going to be a long one, but it is interesting. In the beginning, it takes you, it's present day. It's telling you about the person that is essentially the main female character, and she's in her 80s at this point in the beginning, because it's present day. So she has traveled back to her hometown, or she's traveling back to her hometown, and she's met up with some friends, and you know, that's kind of like in the prologue of the book. And then it takes you back in time to what happened to her as a young girl, as a child, because she was, I don't think she was a teenager yet. She was probably preteen maybe, because yeah, she was young. And I'm, like I said, in the very beginning of the story, but basically she ends up helping, because this is back in the 1950s, so understand this is historical fiction, so this is dealing with, you know, the slavery, you know, the black white thing, Ku Klux Klan, all that kind of stuff is going on within these pages. And so what happens is the what's her name, Claudia, I think her name is Claudia, she ends up as a young girl walking on her way back to her grandmother's house, and her and her friend, they're on their way back home, and she stumbles upon a boy in the woods that's battered and beaten and bruising, but he's a white boy. And she ends up going back to her grandmother and kind of frantic, and her grandma's like, what's wrong, what's going on? And she tells her grandmother what she found. And so her grandmother gets in the car with her and, you know, tells her, okay, I'm gonna go check it out, basically. And so her grandmother tells her to sit here and wait while she goes and sees where the boy is and what's going on. And she ends up, you know, helping the boy. She ends up bringing him back to her home, nursing him somewhat, you know, back. And I haven't gotten to where he's actually up and walking at this point, but at this point I've gotten to where she's brought him to her home and she's helping him. And of course, Claudia, the young girl at this time, is finding herself intrigued by this situation. But he is a white boy that, you know, back in the day, they didn't look at black people as people. They looked at them as things and objects to own, and, you know, called us names and all of that. So you're dealing with a lot of that in this storyline. And so it is interesting, though. It is interesting, and I'm enjoying the read so far, so I am still reaching forward to pick it up. Haven't started the third book yet, which is Eleanor and Gray by Miss Brittainy Cherry, but I'm going to be diving into it soon. I want to get a little bit farther in this one, because don't want to mix my head up with too much. I want to give these books the grace that they need to for me to absorb it, and also for me to be able to share with you what I'm reading. So I'm probably gonna say I won't be long with finishing Miss Kristin Hannah, because I'm already 40%. So I'm anticipating I will be finished with this in a few days, and then hopefully I can get to the halfway point of this thickums by the end of this week, and then I can pick up Miss Brittainy Cherry maybe by the weekend. So we'll see. And I also am starting my book club pick, which is Ken. So I'm actually going to be reading that in the next couple of days. And so I'm a busy bee with the reading. And so I will come back on when I have some more to share with you about these stories. All right. Okay, so I wanted to come on camera and share with you guys what I got in my Read Her box, because I peeked. So in the middle of this vlog, I am sharing with you what I got. And so, anyways, it always comes in this beautiful pink paper, and also it has, of course, the pink wrapping, and she always gives you a little card on top of the things that you had. So that's what I mean when I said I peeked. I peeked in here on the card and seen, you know, all the little goodies that I have, and I am super excited about it because I had no idea. It's always such a nice surprise when you get a book that you kind of been thinking about getting, and then you get it, and it was one of the books in the box. I'm so happy. So anyways, first, let's just let you look. Look. All right. And I'm sorry, I'm not like the girlies that have, you know, the camera situated so that I can unbox it like over top. I haven't configured all of that. Okay. I'm not that big. So I'm just going to take them out and you're going to see what I got. So opening it up. Okay. This is what you see. Okay. And I have first a TBR jar, right? How cool is that? And it's pink, it's just cute. Everything she sends is generally the color is got pink, and I love pink. And she always sends something edible, something to eat. And of course she's got some Tootsie Roll Pops, and I'm gonna eat those, snack on those. And we have some Read Her book box stickers. How cute are those to put wherever I would like? They say, let's see. Oh, and they have to do with the book. Oh my goodness, they are so cute. They have to do with the book that she's getting, or she sent. And how about I got a t-shirt? I am so excited. I got a t-shirt. Look at there. I don't know if you can see. Look at there. And it's got this is all the theme of the book. So it says, "We'll fight for book bay." Isn't that cute? I like that. So I will be wearing that. And what size is this? Oh my, this is a 2X. This is gonna be huge. Yeah, this is big. I didn't realize I got a 2X. I definitely don't need a 2X, but it'll shrink. Because that's bigger than what I need. Anyways, the next thing is what is this? This is it's a magnet. It's a magnet. Okay, it's a magnet. And Juliet Raylease is the book, right? And here's the book, and it is so nice, y'all. The book is gorgeous. Look at that. Oh my God, look at that. You know I'm a paperback queen, but this book, why is it thick like a Bible? It is thick. It's a thickums because it's actually wide. I don't know if you can see, like, in comparison. Let me, okay. So I'm currently, in this vlog, I'm reading Kristin Hannah. And this book is not a very small book, but this is in comparison, as you can see. Look at that. So this is showing you how big this book is. Look at that. See, this is a pretty big, sorry, I'm not doing a good job. But yeah, you can see this is a big book in comparison. How about that? So I cannot wait to get into this. It is very, very unexpected because I wanted to get this book. And I am so glad. I am too happy. I'm too happy. I just wanted to share this with you because I'm so happy that I got it and I didn't have to buy it. Or I did buy it, okay? I bought the box. But the fact that she's kind of in my head and thinking the same and getting some of the same books that are popular books that people are out here talking about in these bookish streets, romance, man, romance. But anywho, what we are here for on this video, so that I'm not making it terribly long, I am further into Miss Kristin Hannah. This Night Road, y'all, this is a remarkable book. As I told you, it is dealing with young adult, but the message that is being sent throughout this book so far is just so touching. It's so deep. If you are looking for a read that is going to touch your heart, and that you are going to sit back, especially as a parent, there is no parent that could read this and not be touched and not feel something and not get the message. And there are several messages being issued within this story. It is heartbreaking right now. I am on page 206. So I am about halfway. I'm at like the 52%. So I've got a good ways to go. Definitely more of the story, and I'm hoping and praying that it gets a little bit easier on us, because as the reader over here, I'm struggling because I want to zoom through it, but I can't zoom through this because it is touching emotional heartstrings. It is just pulling at them. And I just, with Kristin Hannah, I love her books, but I have to pull back from her sometimes. That's why I hadn't picked up one in a minute, because she's deep and heavy with her storylines, and you got to be in that mood. You got to be ready for where you're about to be taken in this world, because it's real life stuff. It's dealing with things that you can relate to as a parent, as a young adult, as you should be able to really pick up on what she's putting down, put it that way. And it's just heartfelt. And I, as a parent myself, and just going back and thinking in my younger years, because it makes you go back and think about what things you did as a teenager and how you looked at the decisions that you made, and then how your children are now making these decisions. And me as a mother, like I said, of a 17-year-old currently, that I'm always on eggshells when he gets in that car, because he's a new driver. I mean, extremely new. And he thinks he's a professional. He thinks that he can do no wrong. Like he's better than moi. He's better than everybody, according to him. But it is so serious, and it's so devastatingly, it's a lot. And it makes me think about that. It makes me think about, because I'm in the heart of dealing with that, and I've dealt with it, with another child that's now, much older, and, thank God I've gotten past it. That heart sinking feeling that you get when they do go out there, and you're like, are they going to be okay? Am I, going to get a call, or, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, I know you as a person, you cannot live life like that, but man, this book it does something to you. And the decisions that people have to come to terms with and make, the decisions that the mother in this story, both mothers, because the adopted mom that, you know, the young lady, Lexi, got from her aunt taking over and being her adopted mother at that point, because her mother, you know, passed and everything, and her mother had issues. So her situation, and also the mother that we deal with in the story, that's of the twins. Man, I see both points. I clearly see them. I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm a little bit farther in Take the Long Way Home by Miss Rochelle Alers. This is good as well. I am enjoying it. I am not enough to where I'm going to talk to you guys about that yet. I want to be a little further in so that I can give you some real meat. But it's historical fiction, and it is good. It's keeping me interested and engaged. And I'm trying to not go too deep into this, because I was actually reading another historical fiction, and I want to finish it out before I really clam down into this, so that I'm not mixing it up in my head with the other one that I'm reading, because I was reading it first, and I'm like 70% in, and I'm going to be finished with it soon. So anywho, that is it for this one. I will come on. Hopefully I will be finished. I'm going to say that. I'm going to be finished with this, and I'm going to be further along with this, and I will hopefully at least start Brittainy, Cherry, Eleanor, and I think it's Eleanor and Gray. You know what I'm saying. So see you soon. Talk to you soon. Okay, so real quick, had to come on after finishing Kristin Hannah's Night Road. I'm not going to take too long, but I told you last time I was really close to being finished, and so now I have finished the book. It was a 5-star read. I did not cry, but I certainly could have. I felt myself wanting to tear up with this book. I love how she wrapped everything up at the end. It's not going to leave you hanging, which I do. I respect, and I'm thankful that she did not leave us hanging. So if you do read this, if you haven't read it, know that you are going to get your just due to make it a nice little bow on the end. I'm not going to give it away, but I'm going to tell you, it was very unexpected how the turn of all of the events just kind of circled back around to just bring you in. How things that transpired and happened with the main female character, Lexi, the one that we meet at the very beginning of the book, how her being a part of this, her best friend's family, how the author wraps her into the story is done so well, as far as in their lives and what the role she plays, and how it's affecting, not just her befriending Mia, the one that she becomes best friends with, and then also developing the relationship with her twin brother, Zach. What that does in this story is phenomenal. And I don't know how you, as a parent, especially a mother, can read this and not be touched and not just feel something. I just don't know how that is possible. It is definitely a tear jerker. I just am not, I didn't get that emotional with it, but one thing, I was preoccupied doing other things, but I felt it. I felt those words. I felt what she was saying. I felt the heartstrings being pulled with this story and what it pulled out of the mother in the story and what she was dealing with, and how it dug back into bringing up her relationship with her mother. It's just deep. She did a wonderful job with this story. I am very impressed. Like I said, it is young adult, but it's so much more than young adult. So when you go into this one, do understand it is way more than young adult. I don't have really anything negative to say about it. I mean, I could probably pull out certain things, but it ain't even worth discussing, because this book was just everything and more. It's an emotional ride. I have to remember, when I read Kristin Hannah books, they are going to take you on this emotional roller coaster, especially if it's dealing with something that is near and dear to you, which I can feel her. I can feel the mother in this story. I can feel even the kids in the story. I can feel that. So because of that, I think that's why it makes such a phenomenal read for me, and why I felt like it was a 5-star book. So anyways, I'm not going to go on any more about it, but I will tell you that I definitely say read it. It's a 5-star, and you will not be disappointed. I cannot say nothing else about this one. I enjoyed it tremendously, and I did not give you any spoilers. So hopefully you enjoy my little wrap up on this one. And I'll be back to share with you more about Take the Long Road Home. Take the Long Road Home, I think it's called, as I get more in depth in it, and then also picking up the Brittainy Cherry book, which I have not yet, but I am, I promise. All right, talk to you soon. Okay, so wanted to pop on and share with you where I am in the Rochelle Alers Take the Long Way Home book. Okay, I am actually on chapter 36. This is a chunky one. Let's see, I'm on chapter 36, which is part 4, because this book is divided into parts. So I don't know if it's 5 parts or if this is the last part, but whatever the case may be, I am around 408, and so I'm not that far from being done, because it's actually like 566 pages. So I'm on page 408 currently in the book, The Long Way Home. So I am close towards the end. I have probably another day. I guess I'm about 70, almost 80%, almost to the 80% mark, because I'm listening to it versus reading it. But I like to kind of, when I have the book in my possession, even if I am just listening to it, I like to kind of go along with the actual page numbers. I don't know what that's about with me, but I like to go along with the page number of where I am if I have the physical copy. So it is, of course, like I told you, historical fiction. We are following along the life of Claudia, from her being a young child to now, I think we meet her at her point of maybe around 11 or 12, and we follow her life throughout college and through adulthood, and all the way up basically through her being elderly. Okay, so you get to follow along Claudia's life throughout this story, and the story is set back in the it's set back in the day, 1950s. It's set back in the 1950s. Is where we start from, and then it brings you up to 2000, I guess, or wherever we end at. But it is quite interesting if you are looking for a read that is going to be women's fiction, okay, and give you that historical part of what's going on from back in the day, and how family was possibly dealing with certain things that they were presented with, because some of the things that are happening, you can imagine that this is some of the obstacles that some of our people had to deal with on both sides of the pendulum, that they were confronted with. And Claudia's family was pretty, middle class, or, pretty well off. They weren't poor, so to speak, from back in the day. So they were able to allow her some advantages and allow her to travel, and this is where you think about back in the day, where she was able to actually go overseas in different countries and experience things that, that wasn't afforded to people that didn't have, money, so to speak. So anyways, we get to follow along with her life and her story, and how it essentially is going to end up where we start in the very beginning. That first little prologue in chapter 1, I think it is, where it's in her older years, and then you go backwards. So anyways, it is interesting. It is good. I'm so glad that I did start this book. It's not what I would call a 5-star read for me, but it's definitely like a palate cleanser, so to speak. It breaks up the romance so much, because it has a little bit of romance in it as well, because we get her life with these people that she meets, and like from college, she falls in love and ends up marrying her college love and everything. So we get some romance in there, but it's not overpowering the story. It's not really basically about that. I mean, it's about her different segments and times in life. So if you're looking for something that is going to give you that type of feel, where you are going to be able to kind of just follow along with some of the things that she was facing, and just really some of the things that probably truly were happening back in the day. I mean, one of the subject matters that they touch on heavily in here is how she is basically moving to another country, to I think it's Italy, where she ends up moving because of the job opportunity, because she was afforded such a much better job opportunity by going overseas versus staying in the United States. And so because of that, she decided to uproot herself and move to Italy, which she was familiar with from being there young, visiting her aunt that lived there and staying with them for a good amount of time. So anyways, I'm enjoying the book. I'm not going to give you any spoilers. You already know that. But I definitely think this is one to pick up if you're looking for historical fiction and just wanting something easy. It's not a lot of mess going on. It's not messy. It's just an easy, pleasant read. You can listen to it and just kind of feel comfortable in your space and not have to be bogged down with a lot of emotions. It's just interesting, So anyways, hopefully that was good enough to get you to where you need to be, to if you wanted to read this, you would want to pick it up. I have not yet started Miss Brittainy Cherry, but I am planning on actually starting this tonight. I am going to be snuggling up with the book when I finish getting myself ready for bed. And so this is the book of choice. I have it on my Kindle as well. So I am going to follow along, with it, the physical copy, just by by putting my bookmark. I have a little bookmark here. You can see that on the pages to keep up with the pages as well. But I have the ebook, so I'm gonna start it and see how I enjoy Miss Brittainy Cherry's Eleanor and Gray, and I'll come back on and share with you probably in a couple days or whenever I feel that is a necessary time for me to share this with you about how that book is going, and then we'll wrap it up. Anyways, I will see you soon. Okay, update. I have officially picked up Eleanor and Gray by Brittainy Cherry. I started it last night, like I said I would, and been reading through it last night, and not a lot last night, but more today. Okay, and today is Friday, the July the 17th. So anyways, I'm up to page 100, and this is such a gorgeous book. I mean, this is just such a pretty book, and it's a paperback, but it's different because I don't know if you've seen, like, it has the little fold. I just love the way they designed this. I don't see this often at all. I don't know if I've ever owned a book that's set up like this. It's gorgeous. If you have not seen one of these in person, do yourself a favor and just pick it up and browse through it. It's just beautiful. It's just beautiful. Anyways, off the subject. Okay, so we are following Eleanor, Ellie, and Grayson, Gray. Okay, we start out in the beginning with them telling you basically about them in a younger age. And I'm trying to remember, I think like in the prologue, they kind of, in the prologue, they are, I'm trying to remember if they're at the beginning or at the, I think, okay, so anyways, I'm getting all over the place. What I've read so far shares with you how they meet as young adults. They are basically in high school, and they end up meeting through friends that are part of the next book, book 2 in this not really, sort of, kind of interconnected series. Their book, Landon and I think it's Landon and Shay is the next book. I think that's the next one anyways. I think. Yes. And so anyways, they meet through their friends. Okay. So Shay is Eleanor's friend and Landon is Grayson's friend. So anyways, Landon and Shay, I guess, had a relationship or something. And so anyways, they end up meeting through them. And the way that they meet, basically Grayson is supposed to kind of be helping out his friend at the time to kind of deal with Eleanor, because she's like the bookworm type, and Grayson is like very popular. You know, he's a more popular guy in the school or whatever, and she's not. And so she's supposed to be kind of like this, you know, low-key type of person. And anyways, that nobody really cares for, or, you know, not popular. She's not in the popular crowd, so to speak. But anyhow, we get their little backstory, but this book is set up in sections, like part 1, part 2, so on and so forth. So we're in part 1, which is dealing with learning about their family life. Grayson has his mom and dad at home, but his family life is not great. And then Eleanor, Ellie, she has her mom and dad at home, but her family life is pretty great, pretty good. But she's dealing with her mother being sick. Her mother has been sick for a while. And so due to her mother being sick, there is a lot of sadness around Eleanor and how she is coping with the illness and what her mom is going through. And so due to that, they end up having to move after Grayson and Eleanor have really gotten close and become really tight with one another, and decided to really kind of be together, so to speak. But they're young adults. They haven't did anything sexually or anything like that at this point, but they are really communicating well with each other, and he's feeling her and she's feeling him, type of thing. And they are recognizing that they are special to one another. So we're following their story up to this point. And Eleanor has to end up leaving because she has to move away with her parents due to her mother being ill. They've decided to move to a different state or whatever to help with the situation with her mom. And so it's something that they have decided to do as a family. And so, anywho, because of that, Eleanor and Gray are separated, and she decides to basically end things with him as far as, he's going into his senior year, and she knows that this is an important time for him, and a lot of, they're long distance and all of that is not something that she thinks that they can really do, and so she kind of ends their friendship, so to speak, but anyways, or ends their relationship, so to speak, and says that, you can basically go on and do your own thing. So anyways, that's kind of where I'm at. But they are still communicating like with each other through email and things like that. So the story is not at this point anything major going on, except you are, kind of just filling out the relationship between the two. So it's a good story. It's not anything that is grappling like I'm intensely wanting to pick this up over anything else. But it's an interesting enough story to make me want to continue to read it. Because, when stories start out with the young adult thing, I think I'm not really, I don't buy in very well. I think I want to get past that. I want to get to the adult stuff. So that's how I feel about that. I mean, I'm reading it, but I'm reading it to get on to the part 2 or part 3 where they're going to talk about the adult stuff, because that's when they get me. That's when I'm interested, is what I'm buying in. So can't wait to get further into the book. But I'm at a page 100, so I'm trotting along, and definitely probably going to pick up the next book in the series, because I like Brittainy Cherry's writing. This is, like I said, a series that she re-released. I don't know if I said this. She wrote this. This is an older book that she wrote years back and then re-released it. And so one thing I am noticing, because I'm doing the read and listen, because I have the audio and I have the Kindle version, the KU it's on KU. So anyway, so I'm reading and listening at the same time. And so I'm noticing that in the Audible, I don't know if this person had an arc of it or something, because some of the wording that is in the book and, and on the Kindle version of the book, some of those words are not on there that she's actually speaking when the person is reading it through Audible. And so I'm like, where are they? Because they reference in the book something called what is it? Wilson. I think it's something called, I should have tagged this or something, but they're referencing, when Audible is saying it, they're saying Harry Potter, but in the book it says something else. It says like Wilson Peters or something. I don't know. I can't find it right away, but they refer a lot about, when they're talking to each other, Eleanor and Gray, about they do some Harry Potter references, but in the book they don't actually say that. So I don't know if that is something that the ARC had, and then that's what the person in Audible is reading from, and then in the book they just changed it, or because this is a re-release, if it is something that was in the original and through the re-release they took it out. So maybe that could be it. So anyways, that was just interesting to me, because some of the wording, like I said, is a little off because of that. And it's kind of weird, but maybe that is why. But anywho, I will definitely come back on and share with you as I get through more of this book and be able to share a little bit more. Hopefully, I'm not giving too much away, because I try my best not to, because I want you to be able to, be surprised about it too, but also get some of the points, the good points that or share, or something to share, but not give the story away. But what has got me in a chokehold, and I think I talked about that I'm reading the series Parachutes by Takara Allen. So I am almost done with book 3, The Impact. And this book is an impact. That has got me in a chokehold. That is why I can't get farther into this book and the other, and finish up the other book that I'm about 70 something percent, almost 80% done with for this vlog, which is Take the Long Way Home. I can't get that done because I am finishing up Parachutes, and it is so damn good. Man, again, if you have not picked up a Takara Allen book, man, you're doing yourself a disservice. She is such a phenomenal writer, especially if you are a romance lover. The way she tells the story and the things that she puts in the story that have you so embedded in what is going on to the point that you just can't put it down. I mean, just can't put it down. I'm like grasping for straws here, trying to just get into this story. I mean, it is so good. It is just so good. And I cannot say anything bad about it, except, there is, like I said, lulls and points where I'm like, let that go. But the fact that I'm like that, that says a lot about the writing, about the storyline, about the issue. I'm invested. And I feel this way whenever I'm reading some of her books. I am just so invested in what the story is detailing and the issues. I mean, man, what she's going through with the divorce and all the things. But the fact that her kids, her daughter, her oldest daughter, oh my God, the way that she is just throwing this in her face and just dealing with all of the stuff that is going on between her mom and her dad and this divorce and all the things that are coming along with that, and how, and it's just so real because how kids do deal with it is like that. You know what I'm saying? Like they internalize things and they push it in your face. And I know I have just totally went on a tangent here, but I'm just so engrossed in the story. I got to share. I got to just talk about it. And it's just so damn good. I mean, now let me put this in the caveat here. If you are not a spice lover and don't like spice, this is not the read for you. Do not pick Parachutes up because there is definitely spice in it. But it's in it where it needs to be. I guess you can say it does have a purpose. It's done with a purpose, but it is definitely heavy on the spice. But I am here for it because it is just appropriately placed in the story, and it's making you just be wrapped around what is going on between Talia and Dalvin. And man, in this story, it is just a lot. It's a lot. It's heavy. And I'm so close to being done, but I just had to come on here just a little bit and talk about it because I'm just feeling some kind of way, and I just want to share. And I want to tell anybody that is a romance lover that reads romance books. Again, I don't care what color you are. This is the one you want. Parachutes, if you like spice, if you like drama, and just that intense push and pull. Man, Takara, she does it. She does it so well. Her writing style, she gets you involved in that story, wrapped into in these 3 books, we have went there just like with Ashley Antoinette. Man, they know how to tell a story. They know how to get you highly, just pushing you to the edge of nowhere and then somewhere at the same time. But anyways, I go on this tangent because it's how intense these stories are, right? So I'm enjoying it, and hopefully I've given you enough to where you may want to enjoy it and read it as well if you are looking for a good romance book to pick up. Takara Allen's parachutes, 1, 2, and 3. You're going to need all 3 of them. If you start with 1, you're not going to stop. So just go ahead and get all 3. They are all, I think, on all of them are on Kindle Unlimited. All of them are on Audible. And I think if you have Hoopla, yes, they are on Hoopla. If you have Hoopla, I don't know if they're on Libby, because I don't think they're on my Libby anyway. So if they're on yours, good for you. But man, you can't go no wrong. Anyways, I'll come back on as I have finished up or gotten further in Eleanor and Gray, and I will probably try to make that my last on this particular video so that I can wrap this up, because I don't want it to be too long. All right, see you soon. Okay, so I had to come out and charge this car. And so while I'm doing that, I can check in with you guys. So wanted to finish up this vlog, let you know that I have completely finished both books. Take the Long Way Home is done. I actually finished it today, and I actually also finished Brittainy Cherry's Eleanor and Gray. Okay, so Take the Long Way Home by Miss Rochelle Alers or whatever. Sorry if I'm messing up the name. It turned out it was really good. I think that, you know, if I was a ratings type person, you know, 1 through 5 type of thing, I would probably give this probably 3.5, somewhere in there. And it may be a little higher than that, but definitely a 3.5 or 3.75 in my opinion. I enjoyed it. It was not like this heart stopping chokehold type of situation. The book, it gave me just even keel kind of just interesting things that were going on with it to keep you engaged. Definitely feel like it had, like I said, the historical fiction type of feel. Bottom line is we, like I said, follow Claudia, the main character in the book, throughout her life. And interesting enough, because like I said, this started out in the 1950s and it goes all the way up through what year was that? I want to say maybe it's been the 2000s, but I'm not sure. But anyways, it follows her life and all, you know, that happens, and it's just dealing with the real things that, you know, we all have to face throughout our decades of life, you know, if we are blessed enough to live that long and journey through these different seasons. And basically what I kind of took from it is what you start out from doesn't necessarily mean where you're going to end. You know, you can start out in a certain, you know, situation and dealing with certain circumstances like they were in the 1950s, and how, you know, they treated Black people, you know, back then, and, you know, the obstacles that they had to kind of endure. And you know, even though this is fiction, I can imagine that people did flee, you know, or, you know, women, men probably as well, left America, left the United States and went to live in other places because we were more accepted in other places. And you know, we don't really get to hear a lot of stories about people doing that, but I'm sure that is something that was happening, you know, quite frequently, because people had people in other places. So of course they can travel to visit them, and some of them chose to stay. I mean, some of like now, sometimes you send your kids, you know, in the summer to visit, you know, relatives or different people, you know, to give them a different aspect of life and everything. So anyways, it was thought-provoking in that manner. And it was a breath of fresh air as far as I can tell. I'm sorry, the lighting is moving and changing or whatever in here. But anywho, it was a really good book. It was kind of long for my liking. I think it could have been shorter, in my opinion. I think we could have gotten all the points without it being quite as long, but I've had that on my TBR, my physical TBR, for about almost 2 years. So I'm so glad that I took the time out to read it and to blog it with you guys, to share my thoughts of that particular book, because I've not heard anybody talk about it, but I have read other things by Rochelle Alers. She's been writing a long time. In her books, like I said, it's just a breath of fresh air. A lot of her books I picked up, they just, they don't have a lot of spice, really not much at all. So you don't have to worry about that. I mean, it has little hints, but it's mostly like closed door stuff. It's not anything spicy. It's just hints of, things. But other than that, if you're a no spice girl, this is definitely a read you can comfortably read. Anywho, enjoyed the book, glad I read it, and definitely recommend if you are into historical fiction and just like following along historically someone's life from the 1950s all the way up, and just kind of seeing all the different facets and things that happened to them. Okay, that's a good pick. Eleanor and Gray. So I have read several books now by Brittainy Cherry. This book, even though it's so beautiful to me, it's a beautiful book, and the story is, it's a good story. But my final thoughts is that I like the book actually better than what I read. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like the cover and the actual physical copy of having this book more so than I enjoyed the storyline. I have read better from her. This, I can tell how her writing progressed and changed over the years, because this, like I said, is an older book of hers, and she has re-released it. The re-release of it is wonderful. I mean, like, the old copy that I seen doesn't look not as good at all as the copy that she has out now, and it's a beautiful book. I'm so glad I have it. And honestly, I don't know that I care for the second story, because it leads you in this story, it leads you up to building for the second story in the series, which is Landon and Shay. But I don't know that I care much about their story. I'm not invested. So if I got it, it would just be because I like the book, because it's a beautiful book. And that would just be a total waste, because I don't know that I really want to read it. And I'm not mad that I read Eleanor and Gray, not at all. But like I said, I've read other books by her, and this, it was just, it was okay. It wasn't bad. I enjoyed the storyline. I just think because I've read other stuff by her, I know that she can write. She could have wrote it, if she had wrote this story, rewrote it, I think now, it probably would have been more, you know what I'm saying, like more in depth than what it was to me. Because reading the books that she has out, more recently that she's written, I can tell. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's no shade to Brittainy Cherry, because I like her as a writer. I enjoy her stories, but this was just okay. And it was not anything that I'm like, oh yeah, you need to go read this. I mean, if you want to, you can. It's not a bad read, but it doesn't have a lot of spice or anything in it. I don't even know if it has any spice. Just if it did, it's just like at the end, it's just a hint. It's really not. This is another one that doesn't really have much spice, so you're safe if you're not a spice girl. You're safe here. And the storyline is good. Let me just say that. I'm sorry about this lighting, y'all. The storyline is good. That I just think it could have been told to grab you a little bit more, because it's an emotional storyline, and the way she ties it together, it is emotional. But I think if she had wrote it now, she would have wrote it a lot better. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, that's just me. Anyways, if you read that book or any of the other two books, please let me know and tell me how you felt about them, because you know how I do here. I don't like to give you spoilers, so I'm only going to give you my opinion of the book and certain things in there of how I felt about it as I have been reading it, but not to take away your surprises and the story from you, because you need to be able to find those things out and enjoy the book. And I don't think, I'm like this, if I haven't read the book and it's a book that I want to read, I do not want it spoiled. So when I look at YouTubers or TikTokers, book talkers and all that stuff, if they're talking about a book that I want to read, unless I know that I'm not going to read it right now, like I'm going to read it like down 2 months down the line or whatever, I'm going to skip over it, because if it's a book I want to read, I don't want them to tell me about it. I want to just go read it and find out on my own, type of thing. Like this book, one example, this book called Joliet. That is a book that's by Ray Lease. And I've seen a lot of people talking about it, and I want to read it. I have my own copy of it, but I've been skipping people in that section when they start talking about it, because I don't want to know about it. I want to find out as I am reading. That's the type of reader I am. I want to be surprised. I want to figure out the story on my own. Okay. And then I want to come back and listen to what you thought after I've read it. And that's only when it's like a book that I know that I'm going to be reading in soon. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm going to be picking that up in the next month or so. If it's beyond that, then I can listen to it, because I'm going to forget about it, right? Because I know that I'm not going to pick that up for months and months. And so by the time I pick it up, I'll even forget about what you said. So anywho, that is wrapping up this vlog, right? That is all I have to say about these stories. Hopefully you have enjoyed going along with me through these stories. And look, I also wanted to share with you guys, I went to Dunkin' and I got me a little coffee, right? I got this new strawberry latte, cloud latte. I just wanted to try it, and it actually is good. I didn't have them tweak it or change it, because I just wanted to see if I would like it. So I don't know if you guys have tried this, but it actually tastes pretty good. I'm shocked. I really am enjoying it. I wanted to try the Dunkin' Latte strawberries and cream, but they didn't have it. They said they out of it or something. So, because I like the Dunkin' Lattes, I do like those. But anyways, they didn't have that one. So I was just trying to try something different than my norm. Just thought I'd share that with you guys. And I think that is it, guys. I'm just going to go ahead and end it here because, I don't need to make this too long. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and I will definitely see you on the next one.